What's up, guys? Bob Busker here again at ThinkComputers, and today we're taking a look at one of the largest and most interesting cases we've taken a look at in quite some time. It's the AZZA Genesis 9000, so let's take a look. Upon first look, you can see this is a very large case. It is a full tower case. It comes in both black and white versions. Of course, right here we do have the white version. Starting at the front of the case, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 5¼ inch bays, and 2 of these are actually hot swaps. And if I guess correctly, we have there's one, and the second one right there. And you can see how easy these bezel covers come off, and they also, every one of them has filters too, so you're not going to get your case, you're not going to get dust inside of your case. Down here is a large ventilated section. We're actually going to show you what's behind there in 1 second. And then you have these accent LEDs, of course, that are going to light up when your system turns on. We have removed this front section here. Easily pops off. You just remove the 2 screws that are sitting right there, and you pop it right off. Very easy to do. Now you can see here that we have this little power supply connector, and what this is actually for is this is going to connect your power supply. Your power supply is actually going to be mounted in the front of the case, and that's of course very, very different from many other cases. And once we get into installation and the actual review, you're going to see why. So your power supply is going to be here, so you are going to get, if I can take this out here, a fan filter. Nice large fan filter right there, easily removable, and you can put it back in just as easy. At the top front of the case, you have all of your connections. So you have eSATA, 2 USB 2.0 ports, headphone, microphone, and 2 USB 3.0 ports. You also have 2 large buttons right here. This one on this side is your LED or your fan LED button, and this one on this side is your power button. You also have a small reset button, and then you have 2 LEDs. One looks to be for power, and the other one looks to be for your hard drives. As you can see on the top of the case, you do have small little vents here. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a larger vent back here. There are 2 very large fans behind here, which we are going to see. There are these 4 thumb screws, which you can use to take the top of the case off, which we're going to actually do right now. Alright, so I have removed the screws, and these screws are actually very, very long, just to show you the size right there. And now you can pop the top of the case off. Just pull from the back, and it should pop off pretty easily. Now you want to watch out because you have all your front connections right here, so I'm just going to lift it slightly here. And you can see we have 2 extremely large 230 millimeter fans right here. Very, very large. I like that this top of this case also pops off, so you can easily get in here, do some maintenance on the fans, or even change the fans out, or install water cooling up here like a radiator or something like that. Very, very cool. And it goes back on very, very simply, just like that, and you're ready to do the rest of your installation. Taking a look at the side panel, now usually on most cases, this would be our side panel where we have our window and we can see into our case, and our motherboard's going to be right there. But actually, the way this is designed internally, this is actually the back side of your case. So if we take this off, it would be on the opposite side. We'd have our motherboard tray here and everything like that. So because of that, on this side, all we have is 2 large ventilated sections, and you can fit 2 120 millimeter fans right here, and they are going to be made to cool your hard drives. So the way this case is designed, this opposite side panel is actually going to be your real side panel, so you can actually see in here and see your components. You have a nice cool little blue window right here, which is kind of going to match the blue LEDs on the top and on the front of the case, and you have 2 120 millimeter cooling fans here. Now these are included and they are already installed, and again they are going to be used to cool your hard drives. If we take a look at the back of the case, we can kind of see how the inside is designed. Basically, it's flipped. If you look at this, the way the motherboard's laid out, everything is flipped over, and we're actually going to show you why once we get inside. You have some ventilated section right here. You have 2 very large water cooling holes, and then a third one down here, very, very large, 120 millimeter exhaust fan, and then you have room down here for a power supply, but we'll also show you what's actually behind there. And then you have a little power connector right here. And if you remember, on the front of the case we had that power connector. So this goes through your case all the way to the front and will connect to the power supply that's going to be mounted in the front. And again, you do have another fan filter here, which should be easy enough to take out just like that and put back in. And again, all over this case is thumb screws. You're not really going to have to use a screwdriver to take out many things. Thumb screws all over the place. Now that we have the side panel off of the case, we can take a look inside and see how everything is designed. And it is a little bit different here. Now normally, you would have your motherboard over here and you would have your drives over here, but it's flipped a little bit, and it's also flipped upside down basically. If you would mount a motherboard here, the CPU would be up here, and of course your expansion slots would be down here, but your CPU is down here. So this is actually the top of your motherboard, and then you have the bottom of your motherboard, of course, up here. And the reason for that is you have two very large fans down here, and they're bringing air into the case, and it's going to bring it up, and then your two large 230 millimeter fans are going to pull everything up out of the case. And this is supposed to be better cooling than your typical setup. Very, very cool by AZZA. I really want to test and see how that is actually going to work. So you do have your two large fans down here. And just a quick look, you have your large CPU cut out right here. Of course, your exhaust fan right here. You have two large cable routing holes right there. And now all of your hard drive bays are actually built in. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, two of which are the hot swap bays. And these will actually come out so you can install 3.5 inch or 2.5 inch hard drives. Again, you do have your power supply mounting right there on the front of the case. And again, you can move these fans around if you would like, but this is the way they really want you to do it. And we're actually going to show you how you can flip this case around and put it back to the normal way. We also have some expansion slot stabilizers right here. So if you're running very, very large video cards and you want them to be more stable so they don't bend, that happens a lot, especially if you have them in the system for a while. They do have these right here. And as far as everything else inside, you do have toolless design here for your optical drives and to actually install these little cages or trays that come out. But let's actually go ahead and show you how you can flip this whole thing around. Real quick, before we go ahead and flip the case around, you do need to remove these 3 thumb screws right here in order to take the motherboard tray out and flip it over. Now that I have the 6 screws taken out, I can easily remove this, and this is actually extremely easy. I've dealt with a lot of cases that do have removable motherboard trays, and this one has to be the easiest. And what's even cooler about it is that you can flip it over. So, very, very easy. And again, you do not have to have the side panels actually off of the case to do this. I just have it so you guys can see. Very easy. There is a handle here, so you just pull this out. As you can see, the whole thing comes out. So we have it here. You just want to make sure you have your wires right there. And you can see the entire motherboard tray comes out. Now, the cool thing about this case, in most cases you can have a removable motherboard tray, and it can be taken out, put back in for easy installation. But what you can do here is you can actually flip this around. So, normally it would be going in this way. We can go ahead and flip it around here. Just line it up. And it goes in very nice and easily. Make sure you have your wires here. And now our case is exactly like, oops, got that stuck in there. There we go. And now our case is exactly like a normal case would be. If I move this here so you guys can see, now we would probably move these fans and mount our power supply down here, and then you have your CPU up here, expansion slots right there. So AZZA suggests that you do it the other way, the way the case comes, but you can't do it this way, if you want this side of the case to do that. But they say for cooling reasons, they would rather you have it the opposite way and use the airflow going straight up like that. Whichever way you want to do it, it is very cool. It's something that I've never seen before on a case. Very, very cool. So this concludes our overview video of the AZZA Genesis 9000 full tower case. Make sure you check back very soon on ThinkComputers.org for the full written review. And remember, if you like our videos, why don't you subscribe? Catch you guys later.